What's going on out there, YouTube?
What up, YouTube?
This is SEL0320.
It's Joe Johnson 030. Got the new YouTube channel that's up. So I know y'all heard about the old one. That's old school. I ain't really have much up there, but I'm about to have some new joints fresh on this channel, Joe Johnson 030. Holla at me.
So what we're doing for this video, we're doing a spoiler review for the brand new Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna go and do a non-spoiler review. So anybody that hasn't seen it, they can actually kind of get an idea of it. But we're gonna let y'all know. Y'all get the exclusive full conversation. Yeah, we got nothing up here. But the movie was awesome.
It was.
To me, it exceeded the expectations that I had from the first one. I mean, the first one was epic, you know, and it was the beginning of the concept of Caesar and how his humble beginnings, basically, of how he was born and his mother getting killed and the way it happened, and then him getting entrapped kind of in a prison with all these different apes, and then he's choosing a whole new home. And it's just, the whole concept was just so awesome to me when I first saw it back in 2011, but this one is just on a different kind of level, because now you have Caesar 10 years later and you see what's become of him. When we ended it, the last one, he was in the trees, he was with all the apes, they had made it to the end of the city over the bridge, and you realize that the human race is about to have a drastic thing about to happen, because the virus that used to create them to make them smarter now is killing all the humans. And so it spread, but now you don't know what's going to happen. So 10 years later, the first thing we see is them hunting. That's the first thing we see in the shot. And like, you're like, are they hunting humans? You don't know, but it's just on point. Like, you find out that Caesar is a tacticianing man.
Yeah, and it's like, it's crazy because it's funny you mentioned how it opens, because it starts off with just like the camera zoomed in on his eyes. Mm-hmm. You know, that was intense. I thought that was really intense.
Well, it started with that and it ended with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it shows like where he's came from, but then you see what he goes through in this movie, and it's a lot that he goes through. I mean, he goes through fights, he goes through the point of almost being killed, and towards the end, like, it's like you don't know what he should do. Like, it's a morality complex going on. Joe had made a concept when, at the end of the last one, he was like, man, it'd be crazy that all these apes, they start kind of having factions of each other. Like, what if, like, they split off? Like, some people have different ideals other than Caesar. And that's what happened in this.
Exactly what happened. I made that, I pointed that out, that kind of idea, at the end of the first one. We watched it earlier today to kind of, like, recap on the story. But, you know, at the end of the first one, you know, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, Caesar's just kind of like a, he has a soft spot. You know, he's not all out just to get people to kill him. He has a peaceful side. If peace is the first option, that's what he's gonna go for.
Yeah.
And I kind of sense like some of these apes, you know, that he's leading have been through, you know, various like instances where they were tortured. You know, and I'm like, some of those guys, if Caesar wasn't there, you know, they'd be out killing people, you know. So I could feel like some different factions forming. Mm-hmm. You know.
And it's funny because it wasn't just factions within the apes. Like, there are, I don't know how many millions of people that were dead. There was literally no humans kind of left. It was just a small number of survivors. Mm-hmm. But in sporadic places, because there's no power anywhere. And so the humans that we first see, when the first human comes up, like, this dude, he shoots one of the apes. And these guys, you find out, like, I mean, they have a whole different kind of civilization. It's just such a good scope of showing, like, them kind of creating their own kind of civilization. And it's just, it's insane to see where they're at this point and where they're gonna be eventually. If any of y'all looked at any of the older ones, you know. But the whole concept is now, like, you got the humans and they're unprotected. Like, the only reason why some of the humans are alive, that I think if I wrote right, what did the doctor say? She had said that they had become genetically immune to the airborne virus. And those are the only ones that are alive. Everybody else is dead if you weren't immune. But you have this family where it's made up of a dad, his son, and then this other woman that the dad is now with. And she had lost her daughter, he had lost his wife, but they were all working together and they love each other deeply. But they're put in the mix of all of this. And you kind of feel for them because they're this kind of, you remember how James Franco, like his instance with Caesar in a short amount of time that it happened, like 8 to 10 years. But him and his girlfriend, they were kind of like the ones that show Caesar that there's a good side. There's a heart to humanity, you know? And this family basically exemplifies that. But then you got the other side of it where you got, what was his name? But it's Gary Oldman's character. He's kind of the leader of the remaining survivors. And he's gone through a lot as well. And it was like, it's kind of playing on, you got Koba. Koba is the other ape that is basically right hand to Caesar. But it's an inferiority complex going on because Koba has been tortured by a lot of the humans. And then you have Gary Oldman's character who was put through hell because his family is gone because of the apes. And they blame the apes, even though it's not directly the apes' fault. Or the apes didn't directly go and put their hands on them. But because of the virus, they're going to have to point the finger to the apes, you know. And so you have those kind of factions that are going on where you have like the simplistic person that knows right from wrong. Then you got the person that's trying to protect, but they have a corrupt sense of morality. Then you got Koba, who's trying to literally just wipe out all the humans, period. Whoever's left, he will kill them. And you see the depths of his, I don't know, he's just a violent, sadistic ape.
So like, also at the time, you know what I'm saying, this is kind of going a little bit into the story. But the family that, you know, that's in the second one that's like showing like a good side of humanity. You know, they're up there they're up there in the woods in the apes territory working at a dam. And the dam, they're trying to get power for the city and the survivors back in the city. Yeah. So it's kind of like they need to be there in order to, you know, make sure that no riots take place in the civilization because they're about to run out of fuel in what, 2 weeks? Yeah. So that's their situation.
Yeah, if any of y'all seen Snowpiercer, like one of the things about this movie kind of took homage to that is that you don't see what these people these survivors have had to go through beforehand. Like they have a little bit of limited amount of power, but they literally kind of describe to you like it was so much worse. Like the main character, who's by the name of Malcolm, played by James Clark, he has said that my son will never see something like that again. He's too young to see the depths that humanity had to go through to live through something like that. And so they were in desperation of getting this dam working so they could get power. They weren't gonna survive. And with the Snowpiercer, it's the same concept that happens that you see with Chris Evans' character. He kind of described that small moment. And that was a really good subtle touch. But me and Joe were both also talking that there are certain similarities that were going on because Caesar at this point has a son. And like he has actually 2 sons and a wife and like a family, and like he's trying to protect all the apes. But it's like there are different nods to like The Godfather in the way that he interacted with his son. There are different nods to like The Walking Dead. Even when they were talking about like, what are you gonna do to survive? What do you have to do? Like both the humans and the apes were trying to do everything they can to try to further themselves, and it's not gonna work. Like somebody's gonna fold. And by the end of this movie, it's like even though they didn't want it to happen, it's like that collision happened. And so because the war is about to start, it's like all bets are off. What are you gonna do at the end of the day? And I just love this Caesar's expression at the end of the movie. Like I was like, what is he gonna do? Like in this one, like you can kind of understand like he has to help them survive. But at this point now, they've already the survivors. The humans are the ones that are about to try to kill them. So what are they gonna do? They have to retaliate, you know? And so many different questions with it. But a lot of people ended up clapping at the end of the movie. It was really awesomely made. There's so many different fight sequences. Oh, Caesar. Oh my gosh. We had to talk. I mean, he's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like the way that Andy Serkis plays that role and acts with the motion capture and every emotion. Like you see tears, you see anger, you see just an expression. Like that's great CG, yes, but Andy Serkis is the one that's actually doing the motion capture with all the dots.
He's playing, you know what I'm saying, an ape, bro. Like that's wild to me. That's wild. He's
a human playing an ape, then the ape acts like a human, but you would never know that it was a human playing. That's the thing.
That's Tropic Thunder.
It really is. Playing the dude disguised as another dude. But he was awesome. He was very, oh my gosh. I mean, even Caesar. Caesar is bigger, y'all.
He's buffered.
Like, he can take care of himself or whatever opposition. Because, the first scene, his son almost got attacked. His son was hunting with him. He was trying to kill the deer. And then all of a sudden, this huge bear comes out and swipes at his son. Caesar got in front of the bear. He's like, "What you gonna do, son?"
Bear, bruh.
He's like, come. And he was just instructing them while he was in front of the bear, just giving him a run for his money. And, like, you see, like, this guy is the leader. Yeah. And without him...
Yeah, they would be doomed. One thing I like about Caesar's character, though, is... some of his quotes is like really deep. Like you could tell like just by what he says. This guy, I mean, not a guy, but this ape, you know what I'm saying, is very wise as a leader, you know what I'm saying? And I think one of the last lines he says the humans will not forgive, you know. And to me I was like, wow, like this is coming from an ape, you know what I mean? He's very wise and very smart, intelligent, and strong. Like you definitely see Caesar in this movie become a very strong leader, like a very, very strong leader, to where he upholds his entire ape civilization.
Yeah,
you know.
Even how he stands in front of the humans before everything popped off towards the end. When he went to the humans, he let them know.
He let them know, bro.
He's like, look. This is my area. And it's not even like, porch. This wasn't like the Indians versus the Cowboys. Like, he's like, we have the opportunity to take you out right now. And he says it in such a subtle way. He's like, go, no. Or he'll just say one phrase and you're like, all right, I understand. I understand. But his presence as a leader, and even to me it was like a positive leader. Like it was never to be callous or to be like demanding you better do this. It was almost as though like, look, stay to yourself because I don't know who you are and I don't trust you and I have to protect my family and I'll do whatever it takes to protect my family. And he will like he shows it. But the fact that we're talking about apes doing this, it's just great scripting and it's great writing and it's great acting, and they pull it together so amazingly that the CG, like you forget that this isn't real. You forget that these are not real apes, but the way that the CG is done and the way the performance and the scripting is done, we've been immersed into the world. Like I don't think like these people are not even here. Like I see the personalities, I see the potential of where these characters are gonna go and the generation thing. I mean, you remember Roots, right? When you looked at Roots the first time and you saw it from the beginning all the way towards the end, like you know how like the generations change with different things that'll happen. Like certain good people that you think are good, like it'll come back and then you'll see like the descendant of this person that they've evolved into this bigger leader because of something that the dad did. And that's the kind of concept that this is. And it to me, it'll take me time to really analyze this again. I might come back and actually talk more deeper about it, especially when it comes out and get the commentary. But yeah, this is a win, y'all. I really enjoyed this movie. It has so much depth to it on really simple words that were said and subtly things that were done. And even when I think about Koba was a ruthless dude, man. Like, he would kill anyone and anything that stood in his way. And to have an ape be such a fierce villain, like with little dialogue, I don't think we've seen anything like that. You know, we've seen, I think, the Desolation of Smog, but he had a dialogue the whole entire time. This thing, it just looked fierce, and it was the villain of it more than anything. I mean, Gary Oldman's character, I felt bad for him because he was just really trying to protect everybody. His ideals were skewed, but he wasn't intentionally going, and you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we enjoyed it. It's getting real late, and I honestly gotta get up at 5 o'clock. So this concludes our spoiler review of the Dawn of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Is there anything else you got, Joe? I think we're done, man. So y'all have a good evening, a good night. This is SCL0320. Definitely go and check out Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's epic. You're gonna enjoy it. Let's go, bruh.
Let's go.
Oh, snap. He didn't go.